Oh, police! Come to the door. You come to no harm. Shots fired.
Crime never sleeps.
Taser, I think.
But neither
Stand still!
do the cops. Battling on the front line
Taser! Taser!
are Nottinghamshire's finest.
Stop by for impact.
Highly trained pursuit drivers, specialists in entry and search,
4 ounces of cannabis.
rapid response firearms officers,
On police! Show yourself now!
Police with a dog, stop!
and the crime-stopping force
Look at my arm!
of the dog unit.
Get down on the floor!
Wherever the battle takes them, they'll never back down.
Taser!
Because come at the hour,
Yeah, Bass, we've still got him. Up on the back wheel, offside of the road.
come at the Interceptors.
Where are you from? Leeds. Leeds. Don't come to Nottingham again, will you?
Coming up,
Strike, strike, strike.
a double-stop special op for the firearms team.
On police! On police! Andrew, I can see him now! Andrew, I can see him now!
A wannabe action hero gets the bumps, and a reckless driver causes chaos on the streets.
Massive crash. Ambulance, fire.
On police! If there's anybody in, come to the door now!
500,000 illegally owned guns are thought to be circulating among the criminal underworld. And gun crime is rife.
Shots fired!
1 SLP, breach flagging, thank you.
But using a combination of intelligence,
So we're going to go in down here, and it's this bungalow here.
intensive training,
Lads, keep your hands where I can see them.
and robust tactics,
Stand still! Lift up your waistband.
the Interceptors are fighting back.
Oh, please! Stop where you are! Hands on the roof of the car! Do not move!
The range of training that they've got to give us so that we're fully prepared for every eventuality is phenomenal. Our main aim is to provide firearms cover for the whole of Nottinghamshire. So if you've got OCGs, organised crime groups that have got access to weapons, or lone people, terrorists, to any level, our job is to get those firearms off the streets, whether it be spontaneous or pre-planned operations. So our training is second to none.
It's early evening. As dusk begins to fall over Nottingham, a convoy of interceptors has mobilised for a pre-planned operation. Leading the charge, Lisa DeSantis and Jim Carrington. As the operational firearms commander, Jim calls the shots on the ground.
It's an intelligence-led operation around some of our... in and around Nottingham. They may well be moving around a large amount of drugs or cash or maybe a firearm. It's literally happening as we speak. It's all developing quick time, so with a bit of luck we'll strike on some decent baddies and get a nice result.
The prime suspect is currently on the move around the city, placing dozens of interceptors on red alert. Over at HQ, Jim's boss has been gathering intel to feed his team.
Intelligence indicates that maybe planning to supply a firearm. I'm making the assumption that he's going to be in possession of a viable firearm, which I believe this time to be a handgun of some sort. And he's currently driving an Audi S3.
Received so far.
Cops treat intel like this with the respect it deserves. And at the rendezvous, Jim and Lisa are hooking up with 4 further ARVs plus a dog unit.
Just going to make ready, make safeties on. I'm in the footwell.
Yeah.
But just before rollout, news filters through that the suspect has dropped off the radar.
That can be the nature of some of these jobs, in that we'll get briefed, we'll get kitted, we'll get quickly to an RV in an appropriate position where we can strike on an individual, and then there'll naturally be a bit of a lull. The difficulty and the challenges with something like this is the stars have to align, if you like. It's a real balancing act, and then when we finally get the green light, it's a sort of a real challenge to sort of nail it on and do it safely, really, and get the result.
After a tense hour, Jim finally gets the call. But it's not what he was expecting.
Right, what's this? Some movement.
The suspect and his pals are on the move, but they're now travelling in two separate vehicles. The team suddenly have their hands full.
I don't want a convoy of marked ARVs going through the city. It's a near side out of St Anne's police station, please, and away from the city.
Jim is exactly the kind of cop you'd want leading you into battle. Throughout his 2 decades on the force, he's bagged several awards, including one for bravery during a firearms op. Tonight, all that experience could prove decisive.
Vehicle tactic, significant enforcement to prevent flight.
Yeah, understood. So robust containment of the vehicle.
The order comes in for robust containment. That's Interceptor speak for showing the bad guys who's boss. But as the situation develops, so does the plan.
I want us to prioritise Audi, but with a view to containing both.
Containing both vehicles?
Sir, you're asking for an enforcement on both vehicles as per briefed, simultaneously?
Yes, and soon.
Keen to avoid the dangers of a high-speed pursuit, the boss orders Jim to orchestrate a double T-pack. It's a tall order, but Sergeant Carrington has the tools and the talent at his disposal.
Confirm we are prioritising the Audi S3, but if we can get both vehicles, then we should do.
Yes.
The team may be ready, but unfortunately the suspects are not playing ball.
Stand by.
Lost him.
An HQ total at the moment.
To lose the suspects once is unfortunate. To lose them twice could be considered careless. But not tonight, because the Interceptors have eyes all over the city.
There is a light grey or light oil Audi RS3 in the cul-de-sac. Thank you. Whilst avoiding main roads, please, as a convoy towards Canberra then, with a view to enforcement imminently.
It's game on. An unmarked Interceptor unit is behind the Audi and is quietly tailing them towards Jim's convoy. Jim preps the team to strike.
Let's have the unmarked cars at the front of the stick, if we can push through.
Jim lets the marked cars hang back, giving his team the best possible chance of springing a surprise. Timing will be everything.
Marked cars are coming through at the roundabout.
Understood, we are Bilber Road. ETA is probably 1 minute.
With traffic light, Jim wants to box the vehicles at the next junction, but he still can't see them.
Coming towards you, left towards Bilber.
The suspects are approaching just metres up ahead. It's now or never.
Strike. Robust, please, team, robust. Go on, then. Go on. Don't you let him escape.
On place! Andrew, I can see him now!
Let's have the unmarked cars at the front of the stick, if we can push through.
Interceptors Jim Carrington and Lisa DeSantis have been coordinating an intelligence-led strike on a man suspected of dealing in firearms.
ETA is probably 1 minute.
But he and his pals are travelling in two separate motors.
Coming towards you, left towards Bilber.
So the team have got to attempt a double box.
Strike, strike, strike. Robust, please, team, robust. Go on, then. Go on, go on. Don't you let him escape.
On place! On place! Andrew, I can see him now! Andrew, I can see him now!
Suspecting at least one of the men to be armed, the cops unleash an overwhelming barrage of force, catching their subjects unawares and paralysing them into submission.
Right, back away, team, let's have a containment! Andrew, I can see him!
A slick strike like this is exactly what the team trained for, but it's not over yet.
Both vehicles are stopped, stand by. Vehicle contact, no officer injury. Subject's been compliant at this time, stand by.
Any of these men could be armed, so until they've been isolated and contained, cops have to assume the worst.
On the floor! On the floor! On the floor! Stay there! Do not move! Get down!
The driver and backseat passenger of the Audi RS3 are finally in cuffs.
We are getting some non-compliance. We'll update you, but there's no escape for these individuals.
Hands on your head! Turn around!
Yeah, understood. You've got as much time as you need, boom.
As are the two men from the other motor, which means the only man left is the front seat passenger in the Audi, whose suspicious latex glove hasn't gone unnoticed.
Passenger, climb over. Come back to me. Keep hands where I can see them.
Staring down the barrels of two tasers and the prospect of 100,000 volts, the man complies.
Turn around. Hands on your head. Down on your knees.
To TFC, we have 5 detained subjects in total.
It's a massive relief, but searches of the men have so far failed to yield a firearm.
Whoever's close to somebody that's detained then, just maintain where you are. I'm going to have a pair do 8 clear of the vehicles.
Jim dispatches 2 officers to sweep the suspects' motors.
There we go.
Yeah. Bingo.
And they soon make a terrifying, if not entirely unexpected, discovery.
In the grey Audi, in the front passenger footwell, there's a blue carrier bag. Inside was a black case, and inside that is what appears to be a handgun with a magazine and ammunition.
The firearm was confirmed to be a viable converted handgun. Getting it off the street is mission accomplished.
Firearm recovered. Happy days.
Yeah, see further.
It's an interesting feeling. You know, you're fairly sure there's a gun in one of those cars, and you really just hope that they're compliant. You know, their adrenaline is already going to be through the roof, and you know, you just hope that they still think logically and rationally, and that they don't do something silly.
A successful strike means the 5 men are safely off to the nick. But Jim and the team have unfinished business.
So they can get it.
There's a property nearby that's possibly connected to one of the suspects, and Jim wants to check it out.
It's this one here. It's this one here, is it? It's this one here.
Having gained access to the house, police soon notice something fragrant emanating from the backyard.
It's got numerous outbuildings and sheds, and in one of them we found this little cannabis grow. He's got his fingers in lots of different pies, and this will be earning quite a lot of money for him on the side, I'm sure.
It's a heck of a haul, but perhaps unsurprisingly, considering the clutter, initial searches of the other outbuildings have failed to turn up any further firearms.
The place will be locked down now for searching. Some search-trained specialist officers will come in the morning, and the place will sort of be like, there won't be any stone unturned, really. You never know. Hopefully we'll recover something else.
After a thorough search, a further 3 viable firearms were recovered within 24 hours. An investigation into the cannabis grow led to one of the suspects pleading guilty to production and possession of cannabis. The arrest led to the discovery of a large-scale criminal plot by an organised crime group to convert and supply firearms in Nottinghamshire. 2 men were convicted of possession of a firearm to sell or transfer, and the other 3 men were convicted of possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life. The gang got a total of 79 years at His Majesty's pleasure.
You can't really put a price on how important it is to dismantle these crime gangs and dismantle what they do. And these are people that are carrying loaded firearms on the streets to threaten individuals, to enforce drug debts. And so it's a massive result for the team. We've taken the firearm out of circulation, should it be viable, and ammunition, and some drugs, and some high-level criminals. You can't ask for better than that, really.
For most of us, Sunday afternoon is a chance to sit back, relax and recharge our batteries. No such luck for Interceptor Jim Carrington, who's back out on patrol. His partner this morning is Paul Charlesworth, and it's safe to say neither man is a fan of this shift.
I would say Sunday day shifts are the worst of all the day shifts. It's pretty much how I feel about it.
Given the choice, Paul would rather spend Sunday afternoons out walking his dog, freeing up his evenings for chasing bad guys.
It's a bit of an all or nothing shift for me. It's either just a proper sleepy Sunday, but every now and again a Sunday can turn up anything, really.
After an hour of cruising the streets, this lazy Sunday afternoon suddenly swings from one extreme to another.
There's a car stolen in a burglary not too long ago. Somebody's gone in, just literally opened the door and taken the car keys in the car. And an officer's just spotted it quite a distance away from us, but they've actually seen it being driven away. So we're just going that way to see if we can meet up with them and get it stopped.
The car that's being tailed is a Toyota Corolla, but it's on the other side of the county. Jim and Paul are playing catch-up.
Are they in a marked car? Because it's going to do one as soon as it sees them, isn't it?
Are you in a marked car or an unmarked car?
Sorry, I'm in a marked car, but we're keeping well back just to avoid spooking it.
It's still a long way from this. We've got all out to 614 to get to Worksop, to get ahead of it.
I know.
The suspect is taking his hot motor for a joyride, but the trail has suddenly gone cold.
Is that somebody had a brief sighting of it going north on the A1 on the dual carriageway, and then I don't think they'd been able to get out fast enough to get behind it, so that's all we've got at the minute, is that it was going north on the A1.
Jim and Paul are still several miles away. But Interceptor Jay Sims, staking out a roundabout in his unmarked Skoda, has found himself in the right place at the right time.
And they should just come off 5 lane ends, and it's 8:57 into Worksop.
The hunt is back on. But there's no other units in the area, so until the cavalry arrives, Jay's flying solo.
The vehicle's continued 8:57 in towards Worksop.
Jay can't afford to let this fella get away for a second time, so puts his foot down.
Stand by as we approach the roundabout. I believe it's the first in towards Worksop Town Centre. Still a temporary loss.
Because Jay's in the unmarked, the suspect has no idea he's been tailed, but he's rounding innocent motorists on blind bends for his own amusement.
The vehicle continues to overtake. Emergency equipment.
As the traffic builds up ahead, Jay spies an opportunity.
Directly behind the vehicle.
He sticks on the blues and goes for the box.
Now failing to stop. There's been minor contact between our two vehicles.
With the A road suddenly chock-a-block with Sunday drivers, the Toyota seeks out a quicker stretch of tarmac.
Left. Forest Lane collides with a member of the public, but vehicle continues. Safe to continue. The road conditions are dark. A single male occupant, adult.
Driving at 50 miles an hour through a busy residential area is bad enough. But cutting corners at speed and mounting the pavement is a whole different ballgame.
Left on the crossing.
Jay Skoda's got 240 horsepower under its bonnet. The old Toyota, a much more humble 95. Even so, the lad's pushing it to that max.
Speed speed is 50, and we're on South Avenue, continuing along the Manson estate.
The lad powers on at almost twice the speed limit, without a second thought for anything except his own bid for freedom.
Left. Still continues on Manson Crescent.
He's bouncing round the back streets like a pinball, and for the second time in as many minutes, narrowly avoids catastrophe.
We're on College Lane. College Lane continues. He emerges on a right.
It's only a matter of time before this lad's luck runs out. And as he overcooks the bend, he pops his tyre, which means there's only one sensible thing left to do: jumping out of a moving car. Stunts like this may work in the movies, but you'll never see 007 getting shunted by a Skoda. And so begins the world's shortest ever foot chase. Luckily, the bloke was an even worse runner than he was a driver, and Jay's already got him in cuffs. Within seconds, several other units arrived to join in.
We're doing a recovery for the Corolla.
Received, has the male said who he is?
The discussions haven't progressed that far yet.
Received.
And now Jay's got company. The suspect is introduced to the back seat of a waiting cop car. By the time Jim and Paul rock up, the job appears to be done and dusted.
Oh, there it is.
You've done your bits for the
In a wall.
if you want to forward them on me.
I've even got out of passenger side. What an idiot.
But having thrown himself out of a Toyota, this wannabe Houdini is now trying to worm his way out of a Volvo.
He keeps on trying to get into the front of the car. Come here! Why is he videoing me that? Sit in the car. If you move, you're getting dragged out, put in the back of the van.
The Toyota's looking a little worse for wear. But considering the way it was being driven, Jay reckons this peaceful family neighbourhood has had a lucky escape.
He's just abandoned his car and left the car to its own fate. It's ended up colliding with somebody's front wall. That could have quite easily been somebody's kid. Or, grandma walking the dog, something like that. So, yeah, he's not really that fussed about other people around. And he's jumped out the car and gone up the alleyway. And a little bit of a pursuit, and he stopped.
Luckily, Jay's as nimble on 2 feet as he is on 4 wheels, even when it comes to catching lads half his age.
42. He's 48.
You've had a hip replacement as well, haven't you?
The lad was found guilty of aggravated vehicle taking and burglary. He was sentenced to 2 years and 10 months in prison and disqualified from driving until he takes and passes an extended driving test.
Back off, please. Please back off, please.
Still to come.
I'm not fighting, I'm just saying it's disgusting the way you're manhandling it.
Argy-bargy for the knife crime team.
I've not even done nothing.
And the runaway Peugeot goes up in smoke.
Ambulance, fire.
In 2016, Nottinghamshire Police created a specialist unit with the sole purpose of tackling the knife crime epidemic.
He's concealed, mate. He's definitely concealed.
Get him in the car.
Ever since, they've become the envy of forces across the Midlands, taking more than 450 deadly weapons out of circulation.
A knuckle duster, like nasty, whack to the face of one of them.
Is that everything?
And making almost 500 drug busts a year.
Knives and drugs, they go hand in hand. It's one of those things where the drug dealers need to protect what they've got. There's rivalries over dealing patches and things like this, so a lot of them do carry weapons. With us being out there on the streets, there's a lot more intelligence coming through about drugs. We find a lot of the time when we're searching for drugs, we'll find drugs and we'll find a weapon with it, whether that be a baseball bat in the back or a knife. they just go hand in hand.
It's early doors on a sunny morning, but in Nottingham, crime never sleeps. And neither do the Interceptors. Ken and Joe from the knife crime team have already got the blues on.
Get us there, Kenny.
Responding to an SOS from colleague Gav Hall.
I've sighted a bloke in suspicious circumstances. It stopped that person and it's someone we know, and it sounds like they're being problematic now, so Gav's asked for help. So we're just trying to get to him as quick as we can.
Cops suspect the bloke's been out dealing drugs. And after a decade on the force, Ken knows that on the street, drugs and weapons go together like tea and biscuits. The boys will have to proceed with extreme caution. The arrest has taken place in a residential street near the city centre. And by all accounts, it's created quite a scene.
I think cops, but we've got a crowd here.
Coming as quick as you can, mate.
When Ken and Joe arrive, there's already 2 units dealing with the suspect. So Joe's dispatched to crowd control.
Yeah. Oh, you back off. You need to back off, please. You need to back off, please.
I'm just saying, it's disgusting the way you're manhandling it. There's one person there and they're all manhandling like that.
There's 2 people restraining him. It's obviously for a reason, isn't it?
There's a crack house there you don't do no tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, we're doing something about it, aren't we? Quite clearly doing something about it. Yeah. Okay.
The bloke in cuffs has attracted an audience. But he's been resisting arrest, so cops need strength in numbers.
It's just easier if you let us search.
Get that camera out of my face. Get that camera out of my face.
You need to relax. We've got to do our job, haven't we? The camera.
We have got ground.
Of course we have. You know we've got ground.
You're in a drug dealing hotspot. Potentially see an exchange that window.
Not even done nothing.
Unsurprisingly, the suspect is protesting his innocence.
Not even done nothing.
And so is everyone else.
Oh my God, what is that noise? Come on, it's not nice to see people that we know get treated like that just when he's walking around the street and they've arrested him.
Yeah.
But as soon as he's out of the way, the crowds disperse, leaving just one resident left to defend his honour.
There's nothing on him. He's getting rid of people that are selling drugs on the street.
I can't tell you if he had anything on him or not, but I'm telling you he's under arrest, so...
Yeah, he hasn't.
The woman insists the chap they've arrested is a pillar of the community. Just wait till she sees what Gav's found stuffed down his waistband.
We've gone to search him, he's kicked off. We've got a load of deals of heroin and crack cocaine here. Probably 100 deals. So he's under arrest for being involved in supply of passe drugs, so...
It's possible this bloke's not the virtuous individual his neighbours think he is.
I was having a conversation with this woman and she was adamant that that person in the back of our car comes on these streets and represents what the community wants, which is a safe place to live without drugs. Yet we've just uncovered over 100 wraps of Class A drugs.
Meanwhile, cops have been searching for a property nearby that the man is known to be connected to.
We found what we suspect to be some heroin, a small amount of heroin in like a tie wrap type bag, a small amount of cannabis. During the course of the search, we found another wedge of fake 20-pound notes that seem to be out there.
Dealing in counterfeit currency carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. But the most frightening of all is what was found in the bedroom.
Worryingly, we found a crossbow, complete with some arrows, and I don't think our vest would stand up to with one of those arrows. Hidden away behind the bed was this, which is a machete or a zombie knife, depending on how you want to describe it. But a nasty blade for sure. But these are the sorts of flashy-looking things that people are running around the streets with, hurting each other with, threatening each other with. Taking one of these off the streets, getting it destroyed is definitely a win for us. I don't doubt that would have been at some point on the streets of Nottingham.
The drugs and weapons are seized, and the bloke is off to the nick with some serious questions to answer. A good result and an easy Sunday morning's work for Ken and Joe. The man pleaded guilty to possession with intent to supply heroin and crack cocaine and got 2 years behind bars. No link could be drawn between the man and the dodgy banknotes or the weapons, so these and the drugs were sent to be destroyed. That's another 2 lethal weapons safely off the streets.
What kind of car is it? We're at 140.
Chasing criminals can be hard enough.
Stand by, stand by. Driver lost control. Stand by, stand by, stand by.
It takes grit.
You've got 3 in your stick, Redders. I'll be car 2.
Experience.
We are past the vehicle, we'll try to slow it down.
And months of elite training.
Go.
But sometimes the hardest thing
Crashed. It's crashed, it's crashed.
is calculating when a pursuit
Narrowly missing onto the vehicle.
just isn't worth the risk.
The criminals and the people who make off from us, they don't care about other motorists. So they will blow every red light, they will go the wrong way down the road, really don't care if they wipe somebody else up. Whereas we do care, and we have to make sure that that's safe for us to follow.
It's the Saturday night shift. A CCTV camera captures Interceptor Lee Frith tailing a speeding Peugeot with 2 male occupants. The driver makes a beeline for the Golden Arches. But he's not here for a happy meal. He pops the Peugeot into reverse and swings it back round Lee's Volvo. Eyeing his chance, he gives Lee a cheeky shunt and goes for broke. Lee hits the gas and sends out an SOS.
What's the reason to stop? Man driving, drive right off left lane on Mere Road. The use's authorised at this time.
Dog handler Mark Haywood is a few miles away.
Officers deploying Stinger, just a reminder, please ensure you have suitable hard cover.
Wrong end of the city, but
Canine support can be decisive when a car chase turns into a foot race. But back across town, as long as he's flying through reds, this bloke clearly fancies his chances on 4 wheels. 2 further units have now fallen in behind Lee.
Oscar Sierra A1 behind you, T-Ban. Yes, it's to right, up the tram track, adjacent to the parking lot.
But a convoy of cops is doing nothing to deter the runaway Peugeot.
Right, past Mount Ruben Road, back towards Bradford Road.
Not content with jumping a second red at north of 50,
Risk. Floodless, still medium.
the Peugeot ups the ante, sailing through a 3rd red at almost 70. Sensing danger, Lee holds back to give the Peugeot space. But when it hurtles through a 4th red light, the lad's luck finally runs out.
Massive crash. Bradford Boulevard, ambulance, fire.
At 80 miles an hour, the reckless driver barrels across the junction and ploughs into an innocent motorist, igniting a massive fireball that engulfs the Peugeot. It's the stuff of nightmares. The Peugeot's passenger has been ejected from the car and thrown several feet across the tarmac. He wasn't wearing a seatbelt. For the units on scene, it's a race against time to establish who is in most dire need of help. The Peugeot driver, although dazed and bloodied, has escaped the worst of the blaze.
NH, we've got 3 casualties, 2 out of the subject vehicle, 1 that he's crashed into, and he's trapped inside the vehicle at the moment.
The innocent motorist, who turns out to be a delivery driver, appears to have sustained a serious leg injury. But he remains trapped inside the twisted metal of his vehicle. Until the fire service arrives to cut him free, there's little cops can do but keep him talking. Meanwhile, Lee and the boys work hard to deliver emergency first aid to the 2 men from the Peugeot. And it's becoming increasingly apparent just how lucky they are to be alive. By the time dog handler Mark arrives, paramedics have taken control of the situation. But even for a hardened Interceptor, scenes like this are difficult to swallow.
It's terrible, isn't it? Makes you think, mate, doesn't it? And pursuits are some of the most dangerous things that, as a police officer, you can do. And then when you hear that an innocent member of the public's been injured, it just makes you feel sick.
Moments later, the fire service arrive and begin working to prise the innocent driver from his mangled motor. Lee, who led the pursuit, remains shaken up.
You alright? No. Come with me.
But as ever, the Interceptors are looking out for one another.
Lee, come with me.
Just need a minute, sorry.
I'll take you back to Nick if you want.
No, alright.
You're alright?
Yeah. Sorry, mate, thank you.
You're alright?
Yep, back in work mode.
Obviously, we're all human beings, so we get upset, and that's when you saw, obviously, Lee quite shook up about it also. But then we just all look after each other and go on to the next job, really.
While the injured men get ready for a trip to hospital, Interceptor Paul's been having a route around what's left of the motor.
There's little nitrous oxide canisters in the footwell which people sniff in just to get a very short high. There's a bottle of brandy in there by the look of it as well, which is partly empty. And I think the lad who's driving it was disqualified already. Provisional licence holder, so he's never had a licence. This is a perfect example of what happens when people who shouldn't be behind the wheel get behind the wheel.
With the situation under control, Lee can finally begin to process a fairly unsettling series of events.
I'm alright now, yeah. I think it was when the paramedics turned up that it's off me and it's on them because they're the professionals at that point. So yeah, I just needed a minute there. The point that he's gone through this, I've made a conscious decision to back off, so I haven't actually seen him go through these lights. All I saw was the ball of flames.
Massive crash. Bradford Boulevard, ambulance, fire.
They're just absolute carnage.
In court, the driver admitted charges of causing injury by dangerous driving to 2 people, driving whilst disqualified and driving without insurance. He was disqualified from driving for 4 years and won't be issued a full licence until he takes an extended driving test. He will also spend 2.5 years behind bars. His passenger and the innocent delivery driver survived without long-term injuries.
Whether it's a no licence, no insurance, drink driver or anything like that, just pull over. We can deal with it. The worst case scenario, you're going to get arrested and potentially lose your licence. And there's always the people that turn around and say, well, should we chase? Should we pursue that vehicle? But if we don't pursue the vehicle, it could be murder, it could be drink driving. Yeah, frustrating. Very, very frustrating for me.
Still to come.
Not good news regarding your tyres. You've got your cords exposed.
A roadside MOT.
Full beam. No.
With an epic fail.
Basically, I've been driving a death trap.
Yeah.
An estimated 2.9 million cars are unfit to drive on UK roads. Whether it's a bald tyre, a dodgy light bulb or a horn that's lost its honk, it could land you with a £1,500 fine. And those eagle-eyed Interceptors will spot you a mile off. One copper with a highly tuned nose for these things is Phil Broughton. He's out cruising in the unmarked when a fast-approaching Beamer whistles past his right ear. Phil's seen enough.
Catch him up, we'll see.
The Beamer was doing well over the 50 limit, but nimble Phil's not too shabby behind the wheel either. As the grandson of a copper, Phil's got policing in the blood and even represented his force at Buckingham Palace for the Queen's Golden Jubilee. Sadly, the Beamer he's just got behind looks like a right royal mess.
Can I have code 2, please, Callum Road?
Yeah, go ahead, details.
Before lighting him up, Phil wants to know who he's dealing with.
No reports, registered to Matthew, insurance to a James, no other named parties.
Yeah, 10-4.
The Beamer is owned by one man and insured to someone else. Not a crime in itself as long as the car's roadworthy. But Phil's not convinced.
I mean, he's got a massive great crack in his windscreen, so that's one defect, so we'll see exactly what's wrong with his car.
A short, sharp blast of the blues and twos has the desired effect. And with a dodgy-looking Beamer safely off the road, Phil can introduce himself to the man behind the wheel.
Oh, right, hello, how are you? All right, why do I need to have a chat with you then? A bit quick? You're going a lot quick. It's 50 mile an hour speed limit, so what speed were you doing? Was that because you weren't paying attention, or is your speedo not working?
No, speedo working.
Right, so why am I paying attention to it? Manner of driving, it's unacceptable. It really is. Okay, so I'm going to caution you a moment in time. Is it your vehicle?
It's my mate's.
Right. Sorry?
It's in my friend's name.
It's in your friend's name. Is this vehicle insured to you then to drive? Or are you driving on?
Insured it till Monday evening, I believe.
So why are you driving it?
My car's currently off the road at the minute.
Right, okay, no worries.
Apart from his speeding and the fact it looks like this door could fall off at any second, the lad's story checks out. Plus, his driving record is clean. But before he goes, Phil wants a closer look at his Beamer.
I just need you to turn the wheels facing that way for me, and then just leave it there.
No, it's playing up now.
It's because you've been thrashing it, that's why.
Let's put that one down to stage fright.
Cool.
The balding front tyres, on the other hand, may not be explained away so easily. There's supposed to be at least 1.6 millimetres of tread on a tyre to keep it legal. Nottingham's not seen anything this smooth since Michael Bolton played the Theatre Royal.
Not good news regarding your tyres. You've got your cords exposed. It's all right. What we're going to do is just check a few other things. When was that done?
Won't be able to tell you.
But you've been driving around with it like that? Okay.
To find out more, Phil decides to play a little game called Beamer or Banger.
Turn all your lights off. That's it. Side lights. Main lights. Full beam.
It's not looking good.
No. Indicator. Indicator.
This could be the perfect motor.
Nothing.
But only if you've no intention of turning left.
Wash bottles. We're not having much luck, are we?
The poor lad clearly knows the game's up.
Not again for me. And horn for me. No horn.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a banger.
Basically, I've been driving a death trap.
Yeah.
In its current state, the car is dangerous and needs to be taken off the road until it can be made safe to drive.
Driving at those speeds, if anything happens, he needs to stop. His tyres just haven't got any integrity, so it is an accident waiting to happen. Because not only is he putting himself at risk, but he's putting everybody else at risk as well, with bad driving and bad condition of vehicle. So what's going to happen today is you're going to be receiving a ticket for the tyre condition. I'm also going to issue what we call a prohibition notice. So that means it ain't moving.
Phil wants it seized, but the lad's got a cheeky proposition.
All right.
Is it possible for you to follow me, because my work is just the other side of there?
Just the other side of there, is it? If it's within a reasonable distance, I'll be quite happy for it to go then. I'll put an exemption on that one.
It turns out he got pulled less than half a mile from where he works. So what's his day job?
I restore cars.
Right.
He's a car mechanic, so he should know a shed from a show car, but apparently not.
I'm hoping you'll never put yourself in this situation again.
I think I'll buy an old car and then I can't get done for speeding.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's your copy of prohibition.
Phil's letting him drive the half mile to work, where, hopefully, he'll be able to give the old banger a bit of TLC before even thinking of taking it out again.
Make sure it's roadworthy. All right, cool, I'll leave you be. No problem. He's got no excuse. He knows his way around cars. He knows what he's looking for. And I think if hand on heart, he knew full well all the defects around the car. So hopefully he'll take it on board and hopefully we won't have a future repeat.
The lad was in court for driving with a defective tyre. He got a £107 fine and 3 penalty points. The fate of the poor old Beamer is unknown.
Police Interceptors are back new next Monday at 8. Told over 3 nights, discover the brutal story of how the Vikings conquered Britain, kicking off with Invasion. Brand new Wednesday at 9. And tonight, drunk and drugged up drivers are causing danger after dark as we join police on the night shift. New next.